Hi, it's Sunday the 2nd of January 2022. My name is Adam and this is the first proper video for the Phantom Minis YouTube channel. On screen we can see I am importing an STL file into chitubox and I'm going to copy it when I hit the right button. And this file is for the game Aeronautica Imperialis by Games Workshop. I woke up this morning and saw that this file was available on one of the groups and thought it would make a great first video for the Phantom Minis YouTube channel. Later on in the video I'll print the mini, get it cleaned up when it comes out of the printer, take all the supports off, get it washed, get it primed, and then hopefully show it off at the end of the video. I'll put timestamps in as there is quite a long section later where I'm removing supports and it just does go on a bit, but I thought it'd be nice to leave that in. So you can see here I'm putting the file onto the USB stick, so it saves on there. It does take quite a while for chitubox to write files onto USB sticks, so if you've got a 3D printer recently bought one, maybe got one for Christmas, don't worry, it does take a while for chitubox to write files onto the USB stick, so just give it time. I'm doing all of this through my Mac desktop, so you can see on the screen recording I've got here some of the other Mac tools, and in the background throughout the video there might be some other Mac programs working. All of this is edited as well using iMovie, an iPhone to record it, the Mac for the desktop, so yeah, full Macintosh, Apple Mac all the way. So there, that's where we are. So hopefully by the end of the video we'll have two very nice flyers for Aeronautica Imperialis printed on an Elegoo Mars 2 Pro, cleaned up in the Elegoo Mercury Plus, printed in grey water washable resin, and yeah, primed using both a GW spray primer and a very cheap primer from the pound shop for a comparison. So our Aeronautica Imperialis STL file is complete. Just going to drip out some of the excess resin and then move it across. Ready for it to have a bath in the mercury. So we've got our adapter, goes onto the build plate, nice and easy. Pop it in, grab the top, and set it to a wash cycle of about 6 minutes. I'll be back when that's finished. So, next step is to get the Aeronautica file that we printed out of the Mercury Plus. I like to use water washable grey resin by Elegoo, and as such my Mercury Plus has a mixture of isopropyl alcohol and water to get rid of any excess resin, so that when I take it out, there's a bit of isopropyl smell, but the majority of the resin is now off the plate. Move this out of the way. So just let it drip for a moment. Try and get all that excess resin out of there. And then here we are. We've got two very nice looking flyers. Now, I do have a flex plate. So first things first, just remove that. And then I dip my flex plate straight in some warm water, and there's a little bit of excess resin just coming off there. Just warm it up a little bit. And then I just want to flex my flex plate, get ready for them to come off. So I like to go nice and gentle. Make sure I've cracked it in a few different places before trying to actually remove them, so I get them off as cleanly as possible. Okay, that's coming off nicely. I'll be really careful with the supports. I'll warm it up a touch more. I'd always rather spend a little bit more time just getting the model free and clear from these supports. Okay. Got that there. So we've got a bit of flex in the wing there, so that means the support is quite strong. Gently work our way around them. A bit of care under there. And you can just use the flex plate to get the raft off first, but I'm quite happy with having something to hold to remove these supports with. Because the advantage of the flex plate is it's all going to come off at some point. There we go. It's coming off really nicely. I just don't want to break a single part of the model, and I think I have. Typical. I think we've just broken one of the feet. So you can see there should be 3 feet, and I've just managed to like clip one of the feet when I was removing it. I'll have to fix that in a moment. So now we know that with the other one. Feet are what we're looking out for. Okay, so go around the whole model. Really careful. Work my way down the model. There's a lot of supports down there, and we know now that if we just try and pull even warmed up supports off, it's going to remove those feet. So we want to be super gentle. So ideally, if we can just get warm up for a second, get a sharp knife. The blade. Let's start taking them out bit by bit. There's an absolute tree trunk of supports going on down here. Go on, off you go. Ah yeah, so the feet have got very, very thin connections. Look on this side, see if we can't remove some of the ancillary supports that have nothing to do with that piece. That when we get there, hopefully it's not being held by anything. That's a big trunk gone. Can we now gently release it? Yes, we can. Lovely. Give it a wash. Have a look around. So there's a support connected to the model. So that's a support that's very close on the model. Actually become part of it, but we've managed to get that out. Check the opposite side because they often equalize each other. I think that is that a support. Very hard to see one. Look at the other model. Does have it as well. Can't tell if that's supposed to be there or not. So I'll leave it on for now. Gently go around the model, a few little extra bits. Give it a wash. Right, and what have we got? Looking pretty clear. There's some really lovely detail that could be very easily mistaken for a support line. So I have to be super careful. This is always why I print a couple if I can, because I'm bound to get one wrong. And it doesn't cost a lot in resin just to have a spare which can always be given away. I think we've got almost all of them off now. A little bit on the engines. Some really fine detail on the top of the model. There we go. Let's try it. Right, so the one I did a bit of damage to, not horrendous damage, it's on the bottom, so let's just gently take off the engine supports, give that a wash. Really fine bits of resin just floating in the water now, which I'll safely dispose of in a minute. Separate the water and the resin from each other. There we go. Top looks pretty nice. Front looks good. There's a tiny support connected to that fun bit of detail underneath. Take that off. A couple of little bits on the bottom. Clean them off. Ah yes, and then we've got this support we had like on the other one, just actually attached to the model. You can tell it's support because it's like a cone shape. Okay. Came off okay. And that's the back down. Yeah, lovely. Right, so I've got to try and save a leg. This is going to be fun. So, first things first. Let's see if we can't now use the flex plate for what it's supposed to do. It's a well attached. Let's remove the water out of the way. Okay, I want something that will just glide under. So I'll grab the penknife. So a tiny edge popped up. Yeah, a tiny edge popped up. There we go. Easy job. Be careful not to gouge, obviously. You don't want to gouge it, just want to move it to one side. Right, so this support, so you've got a raft on the bottom there with all the supports on the top. That's done. You can go in the bin. This one has just here the feet. So let's grab that warm water and a very sharp knife. See if we can just identify what can be removed without damaging it. Give us a clean run at it. And we can take off quite a lot of this. Okay, we can cut from the bottom. Seems like a fairly clean cut. Give it a little wash. And then I think we just twist it and we've got it free. That's one side. There we go. That's all spare supports now. Right. Move the wash out of the way. With the mercury we have a plate that we can use for the UV. Now we want these to be dry, so we need a little bit more of the moisture taken off. So just dab them down with a bit of kitchen towel. I want the majority of the moisture off the model. It's looking pretty nice now. Pop that on there, and then same again. Want the majority of the moisture off before we put it under the UV to cure it. And where's my foot gone? There it is. Little foot, give it a quick wash. It's still got its attachments on the underside, so that's fantastic. Take the moisture back off it. Pop it on there. I'm going to cure it before I stick it because making it a bit harder would be helpful. Alright, so we swap over to cure mode. They're not very big models, so about 6 minutes should be plenty. And away we go. So I'll get to tidying up and I'll be back in 6 minutes. Okay, so we just finished curing on the top. So that's a little look. Looking good. I want to cure on the bottom as well. I want to flip them over. Don't really need to cure this tiny piece again. It's so small. Right, so we are finished. Put that noise off. Let's pop the models out. There they are. Put that back so I don't trip over it. I'll put the lid on my cleaning fluid. So I don't trip over that either. So compare it to DACAJet. So here is a regular Aeronautica DACAJet. Pretty standard, straight out of the base game. A few colours on it just to show what it looks like. And here are our Arvus STL files. So we've got quite a nice level of detail. I'm going to hold it with the wing. And then from the rear. And the base. This is the one I didn't pull a leg off. And then from the front as well. So really nice level of detail. So the one that I did pull a leg off, that should be a simple fix. All the positions are still there. I can just get that put straight back on in a moment. So I'll make sure I don't lose this tiny piece of resin. But it does still have the connections underneath for me, so that's fine. So yeah, pretty happy with those. Pretty happy that just, you know, waking up on a Sunday, 2022, seeing online, nice gentleman say I need to put these together from a different model. We've already got the hole in. Oh yeah, we should check the hole, shouldn't we? So we'll use our regular one. You know what, I don't think I have a single Aeronautica base within arm's reach. Yes I do, not a lie. Got my fighter bomber ones that I haven't even opened, so let's grab those. Couple of them. So let's do it on the broken one. If I'm going to break something, might as well break the thing I've already broken. So, yep, not for this type. This is the hole, but it's on a curve. This is the regular Aeronautica. This is what I'm getting. Give it a good shove. No, that's not going in there. So I'm going to have a look at some of my other options. I should have. Make a bit of space. Flying base in here. I typically keep a flying base lying around. So this is a regular flying base that you get from any game system. I think I've chopped the end of this one, but we'll give a... Yeah, so size-wise, a regular standard stock flying base fits in the hole, and then I've taken the top off this one, but it would usually have a peg shape which would fit in there. So I'll see if I can find one of those. Right, next, get this fixed and get them primed. So I've got some cheap £1 rattle can spray primer from the pound shop to put on one of them, and on the nice one I think I'll use my Games Workshop Citadel Black, and we'll have a look at the difference in the detail on a grey prime versus a black prime, which is a £1 prime versus an £11 prime. We'll see how we go. Okay, so next step on getting these 3D prints sorted is getting them rattle can primed. So I'm going to start with the one on the left. I'm going to do it in a grey from the pound shop. So this spray paint is Auto Extreme Spray Paint Grey Primer. It costs £1. You get 250 mils, which is on here somewhere. And test it. Looks good. That looks fine. Okay, and second, with the second one, now we've laid them out like turkeys, which is quite good fun. We have Citadel Chaos Black Spray Primer. Oh, the wind's picked up. Give it a second. There we go. There may be like 10 jump cuts in there as I like move backwards and forwards away from the wind, but there we are. So first layer is on. A bit of the grey's gone on the black and a bit of the black's gone on the grey, but that's fine. Okay, so priming is finished. So if we start with the grey primed, so this is rattle can primed with the 1 pound primer all over there. The underside. So this is where we had the trouble. So this is the foot that came off, but that looks okay. Got it stuck back on. Get a few bits pitting, but some of that is detail as well, so it's absolutely fine. Tiny bits of imperfections, but you know, that's smooth surfaces. Looking pretty nice. If we do a pin wash, those panel lines will come out really nicely. So yeah, pretty happy. You can see a little bit where the black spray oversprayed onto the grey, but mostly looking pretty good. And then the black, once again, a little bit of overspray. So if we look at the other side where it's what we're actually looking for, sort of detail we're getting, flip it over, looking pretty nice. And from the front, looking pretty nice. So next job is to have a go painting them. I think that'll do it for this video though. We've already made quite a long video. I will share this on the Aeronautica pages, so if anyone wants to have a little look, if they were thinking of printing them themselves, you can learn from my mistakes. And yeah, it's been a fun first video for me, for the YouTube channel, just learning how to do the editing and getting things in frame and all that sort of stuff. So thanks for bearing with me if you've watched the whole thing. If you just jumped through using the timestamps, fair play. That's reasonable. Thank you very much. And next time I'm going to make the Orc Air Mega Bomber. It's all cut off the bits of sprue and ready to be stuck together. So I think I'm doing a time-lapse video of putting together the Orcs Mega Bomber for Aeronautica. So look out for that.